Welcome back guys to another Cheat Here video, and in today's one we are continuing on with the original Heists career progress, and today's one is the Prison Break Elite Challenge. And I did actually surprise myself by how quickly we actually got this done. I expected this one to take a lot more attempts than it did, and throughout this run I will be taking the pilot's role in each of the attempts. So let's get on with it. And this one here was in fact our very first attempt at the heist, and just going to showcase some of the issues that you may incur and some of the things that you should not do. So at this point here the timer is now finished with this cutscene. You have 4 minutes and 40 seconds to extract Rashkovsky out of the prison, and the timer starts at the cutscene inside the prison and finishes with this one here. So at this point we're out, we're clear, no rush whatsoever. And if you just keep an eye on Nick, who's just jumped in front of me, you'll see his chute getting pulled in a second, and there's the buzzard coming in. Thankfully, looking at the timer I had running, we were outside of the 4 minutes 40, but one thing never to do is land the buzzard before anybody else reaches the beach. Now this issue here is one where Rashkovsky does not move, and he should move once you've cleared all the guards and all the cops out of a certain area. He'll move up, but he was just failing to move, so you need to watch out for that one. That is a run killer, that. So if you get that happening and Rashkovsky fails to move, it's best just to quit out and restart it. Now this one here was partly on me. I got to the prison too quickly, and the jet that you can see on the minimap has not despawned, and it comes in and takes a couple of shots at me and also the buzzard. Now surprisingly I survived that, but the buzzard didn't, and I'll speak about the timing of things just shortly. But here you can see I'm waiting on the side of the hill at the Vinewood sign, and for some reason the vellum just catches fire. Now I had a clean takeoff and a clean landing while I was waiting, but it just caught fire. This one here was again down to the timing. You can see on the minimap that the two inside the prison hadn't fully left the prison area, and it's not until they do leave that area that you can see that the laser has now despawned. But at this point it is a little bit too late. With the plane on fire, it's not looking good at all. But rather than someone quitting out and leaving, running the possibility of bad sport, we just continue on until we fail, which is going to happen at this point. But the reason that we do actually finally fail it just kind of highlights some of the issues that the buzzard pilot may encounter, as when they are flying about trying to take out helicopters, they will target, as you see there, police cars on the ground, and they do need to be wary, especially when the plane is on the ground trying to take off, of where they are shooting their missiles. They do a good job of taking out the helicopter above, but they then target the police car that was right in front of me, and ended up taking us all out. And moving on to the next attempt, we got the timing a lot better on this one. You will see the laser disappear as soon as they leave the prison area. And the thinking behind trying to land it in the parking area here was that it is much closer for the prisoner and prison officer and Rashkovsky to get to the plane. They won't have to run as far. But the problem there was all these cars and not enough of a run up to get to take off. The other issue that we found was it's actually facing the wrong direction. You're better to be landing so as you're facing this direction for takeoff. Thankfully that buzzard didn't take us out, and we made it all the way to the finishing line, but unfortunately it just wasn't quick enough, finishing with a time of 5 minutes 29 seconds. But after 6 failed attempts we finally got this run here. So the exact Elite Challenge requirements are: it must be played in hard mode. The extraction of Rashkovsky must be done within 4 minutes and 40 seconds. Now the timing of that is once the cutscene starts when the prisoner collects Rashkovsky inside the prison itself. That's when the timer starts, and the timer finishes once the cutscene for the jump out of the plane starts. Rashkovsky himself can't take any more than 1% damage, and no one must die. And as you can see, as the pilot here, I am landing on the hillside right next to the Vinewood sign. And the reason I'm doing that is if you enter the Sandy Shores area of the map, that will start to spawn in the laser jets. The very latest that you want to enter the Sandy Shores area is just before that timer runs out. It also gives you an opportunity just to sit back and watch what's going on here. You can see the prison officer and the prisoner entering into the prison itself and heading towards Rashkovsky, and when you see the blue dots of them disappear, that is when the cutscene starts, and that's when the timer starts for your 4 minutes and 40 seconds. You'll see, there we go, and I've started a timer that I have, and I've just popped out to check my own time in the bottom right there. I've still got 2.5 minutes I can sit about here for. And you can also see the buzzard has been collected and is heading towards the prison. Now when that cutscene ends, the prison guard wants to just get straight on and shoot as many of the guards and the noose that come into the prison as quickly as possible. The prisoner wants to stay as close to Rashkovsky as he can, and that way Rashkovsky will stay with him and follow him once each area has been cleared. If the prisoner gets too far away from Rashkovsky, he will not follow. And here you can see the buzzard does need to stay outside that outer ring road of the prison. If he gets too close, they will be shot down, but they should be, as you see, taking out the helicopters that spawn in and targeting the prison guards on top of the roof just to help out. And here you can see I'm just checking my time again. I've still got 1.5 minutes. If that timer gets to 30 seconds, you do want to be taking off and getting into the Sandy Shores area. But what I am looking for on the minimap is for both of those players getting to the right hand side of that uppermost middle building, as indicated by that big bright red flashy arrow. And it's once they reach that point there, I'll back out the map and head in towards the prison area itself. And as you can see, I've still got plenty of time, 50 odd seconds left to get there. And the actual area on the map that counts as Sandy Shores, you'll see the timer disappear right about now. So as you can see, if you do land and stay on the side of that hillside there, it does only take around about 10 seconds from takeoff to get into that area. So you don't need to be too overly concerned with your own timer. If it does get to the point where your timer is running out and they are still not clear of the prison, or at that point, you do want to be taken off, but you will need to avoid the laser jet, as you saw in my previous fails. Now by far the easiest and probably best place to land a plane is along this section here. So you come in the left hand side of the prison and land it just in front. Now unfortunately I clipped that pole there, and the prisoner and prison officer are running out with Rashkovsky. So a couple of second time loss there, and I've just had to run that little bit further. But landing it here and having them run out is a lot quicker than them having to jump in the truck and then jump back out the truck just to come that short distance. But once you're here, you are looking for a quick takeoff. Now you do not want to go straight up in the air, you want to keep it as low as possible to build up your speed. The buzzard pilot should be taking out as many helicopters as possible, so as we lose detection as quickly as possible as well. Now in terms of gaining altitude, you want to do that very slowly. You've got plenty of distance in which to get to the height that you need to get to, but you don't want to go straight up in the air because that will lose you speed. So you want to try and just keep it as flat as possible with gentle lifts until you reach the right height. Now at this point here, when you reach the mountains, you do want to have evaded the sort of line of sight with the cops, and now it's just a matter of evading any helicopters that spawn in, keeping outside of their cone of vision. And as you'll see just shortly, we get really close to being caught, but keeping an eye on the minimap, you will be able to evade the helicopters that do spawn in.
Looking good.
And it's at this point I think, oh, I should have kept my mouth shut, I've just jinxed it. But I do manage just to evade both those helicopters. And coming up to the yellow dot, I've actually lowered my wheels, which will slow you down a little bit, just so as I don't go too far past. And it's at this point here when the cutscene starts.
Oh, I've got 4:38.
That the timer actually stops, so there's no need to rush from this point onwards. And as you heard, my timer was reading 4:38. But it is still another nail-biting couple of minutes just to get the full mission completed until we see the official time. And once again, You don't want the buzzard anywhere near the beach until everybody has parachuted onto the beach and go well clear. And like I said, there is no rush with the time now, so we've plenty of time to get everybody safely on the beach and then safely into the buzzard and not landing on top of the blades. And with everyone safely inside, it is just a matter of heading towards the city and getting the mission finished off. But of course can't do it all on my own, so huge shout out and thanks to Noop, Dimples and to Nick once again. Always stealing those platinum awards. But as you can see, in terms of the Elite Challenge requirements, we have less than 1% damage for Rashkovsky and we made it in a time of 4 minutes and 39 seconds, so we couldn't have cut that any closer. But I was so glad that we managed to get that one completed, and like I said earlier, really surprised that we got it done with so few attempts. And when you do come out of the cutscene, you will get the notification through just confirming that you have completed the Elite Challenge for that heist. So jump in and we can have a quick look at what we've got so far. And as usual, 1, 2, 3 completed. Still got a long way to go on that 50 million required. But there we can see that's the Fleeca job and the prison break ticked off for us. But there you have it guys, that is everything from me for today. If you did enjoy the video or did find it useful, do leave a like, and if you are new here, why not consider subscribing. Thanks again for watching, and I will catch you in the next one.